Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, here with my buddy Dave White to cover one of the most famous Uriah Heep songs of all time, but live. Dave, how are you?
Hello, Scott. I am fine. How are you today?
I'm doing great, my friend. I'm getting ready to listen to this song, which has always fascinated me because this is such a popular rock song, yet the one element that most popular rock songs have is missing.
What's that?
There's no guitar solo.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not sure I ever thought about it that way.
It's so strange to me. When you think about all the great rock anthems, one of the things that makes it a great rock anthem is the solo. And
there's riffs. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Easy Livin' just cuts to the chase and goes through and you're in and out.
We're going to have to talk to those guys about that.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. Why wasn't I never got the memo? I mean, first of all, secondly, I wasn't consulted on this.
Right.
You're absolutely right. There's no guitar solo in this. I never thought about that.
And no organ solo either, to be fair to Ken.
Right.
The story that I heard, and I don't remember where it came from, but was that Ken and David were in a cab and they were talking about how people think that because they're rock stars now that they just have the cushy life, and they don't understand that it is not as simple as just, oh, you just wake up and make music that's famous and, you just sit there and the money pours in. And so this was their kind of, everybody thinks that we have it easy and we don't kind of song.
That's a story that I heard too, but I don't know where. Maybe from Mick. Maybe I want to mix interviews somewhere.
That could have been, yeah. It seems like this would have been on an Ask Mick or something, but I don't recall it actually being on one.
I don't know, but I've heard that same explanation. I heard it from, I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard it from somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, I've listened to so many interviews with these guys over the years. It really could have come from any one of them.
I know. And everything we think we know because of them. So how's that?
Well, get it from the source, right?
Absolutely.
That's the way to do it. Well, let's, now this song is a pretty short one. It's one of the shortest ones on the album. Surprisingly, one of their longest studio songs is actually the shortest one live, which is The Magician's Birthday, that we'll get to later on in the season. But for now, here is some Easy Livin'. This sound is amazing.
Wow. What a way to start.
Yeah.
Now, when they did this is coming off of Traveler and Heims, right? So they had just finished that one, introduced this one on the roll into this one, and just started it up. So the crowd never got any time to get off the last song. They went right into this one.
Right. Yeah. Just power from power into power.
Right, exactly.
I've always, as many times as I've heard this song, I still just love the rhythm of the melody of it. Just that da 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 da. It's so simple, but yet it's so powerful the way that they do it.
Great drums by Lee Kerslake on this. Just absolutely fantastic.
For sure. And, I have to wonder when they recorded this song, if they looked at each other and said, yeah, this is the hit, people are going to eat this up, or if it was just another studio track to them and then it just took off.
This charted pretty high in the States, if I remember correctly. This was one of the few that really, really took off over here. They got up to like 40 or something, which for Uriah Heep was pretty good over here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was perfect for radio play because it's a short song. It's in and out. It's got a great rhythm to it and got a couple of different changes in it and beautiful vocals. You can't go wrong with it.
Now, this song is wrapped around the Kerslake shuffle.
Yes, right? The double shuffle. Yeah.
Can you do that?
I can.
The way he did it. Is it hard to do? Well, if you ask Russell Gilbrook, he could just. It's so effortless for him.
For me, it's something I can do, but I tend to, because I don't practice it enough, I tend to get lost about 2 minutes in. I start getting off sync. I did a short video on just how it works. And then about 2 weeks later, Russell Gilbert came out with a video that just blew mine out of the water. I'm like, I should just delete mine.
I saw his video. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's so effortless for him. And the harder one is Return to Fantasy, because it has the same double shuffle, but it's faster.
Okay.
And it's a longer song. So it's hard to keep that up.
They didn't cover that. Yeah. Too bad this song wasn't written then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's hear where they go from here.
All right.
This is a thing I never known before. It's called easy living. This is a place I've never seen before, and I've been forgiven. Easy living, and I've been forgiven since you take your place in my heart.
I hear they're singing the Oz, but are they singing the other part of the chorus?
I don't think so.
I thought I just heard organ there. I didn't think I actually heard voices.
Yeah, I don't think they were. I think they were just doing the out part.
That's interesting.
This must have been a great, fun song for them to do live, because it never stops moving.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a freight train from the time it starts until it's done.
It's kind of like the music pulls you along. It's just pulling the band along with it, rather than the band playing it. It's really, I think they probably had a great time doing this one.
I would think so. And I have to say, this is a great tempo for it too. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. This is a really good place to play it.
I have this image in my head of Gary Thain's right hand, just those big curled fingers he's got. It's the index finger and the one next to it, just pulling on those things, keeping that chug along going. Yeah, this is really a great song too.
For sure.
This is probably the most garage band Uriah Heep song there ever was. Every band that ever played any Uriah Heep tune probably did this in their garage, in the popular bands back then.
I can see that. Yeah.
Somewhere along the lonely road, I had tried to find you. The day after day on that windy road, I had walked behind you. Easy living, and I've been forgiven since you.
Oh, I heard it there.
Yeah, they were singing parts of it there.
They're
Yep.
singing it a lot higher.
Yeah.
That's probably why it was buried with the organ, because they're hitting some similar frequencies there.
Maybe it was there the first time too. We just couldn't tell.
It could, because it would be weird for them not to do it.
They definitely were on it this time. We recorded this song, my band and I, in Ken's studio as part of that compilation that we were on.
Oh, nice.
And we did it in three takes. And since there was, I guess, now that I realize, no guitar solo or no keyboard, we went through it relatively quickly. I'll bet the first couple times they did this from scratch, it was great, because it's so simple to do. It's just as long as you can keep the chugging going, it was probably great.
Yeah. Now, did you record guitar and organ on that? Were you playing those?
Yeah. A guy named Bob Dreyer from Illinois did the guitar, the rhythm guitar, and I did the Hammond organ, and I think I didn't play any guitar in this song. This was all Bob.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's a great song. I can't. Why wouldn't you do it?
That's right. It had to be one of our choices, so we opted for this one also. Yeah,
For sure.
great tune.
I remember when I first interviewed Mick, and we were talking about the box set coming out and the Choices CDs. And he said, I said, so did you kind of like dig into the well and look for some things that weren't standards? And he says, yeah, I don't think I picked anything standard. And I said, if I look at your list of songs and I see Easy Livin' on there, I'm going to be upset. Of course, no, there wasn't. I mean, everything he picked was definitely not popular, more popular tunes. So,
Right.
Which I really liked.
Yeah. And he's a cool guy. I got an email from him today about something. Someone asked him for a favor and he actually did it.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't such a simple thing to do. And he's absolutely, I'll take care of it. And he's, what a nice guy. This guy is so busy, and he's got, especially with this tour coming up and the album being finalized and all this stuff. And he just caters to everyone every single time. It's
he
great.
does. Yeah. He's a really amazing. He's one of those rare musicians that's, You know, not that there are a lot of them that think they're too good for their fans, but a lot of them just don't take the time
to
really be there. But he does. He's amazing. Let's get back to the stage. That sounded fantastic.
Outstanding. Makes your hair guys stand up on your arms. What a great tune.
It does. And to think, you know, to watch them sing that and sound that good in those pitches, it just had to be spectacular to be there.
They're totally in sync. You know, I mean, they're like really chugging along with this thing. They're like, I mean, this is great. This is great. They're like the quintessential, let's just get it done the right way because we love to do it and the fans are going to love us. Let's do it. And they did it. It's awesome.
They're a very well-oiled machine here.
Well said.
Yeah. And I love those little runs that Ken was doing. That was pretty unexpected because I don't think he doesn't play that on the album.
The ones that lead up to the next chord.
Yeah.
You mean one? Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? That's one of the things that are different when they do them live. That became the way that they always did it. Mm-hmm. He always had them in there.
Well, you've got to make it fun for yourself too. If you're going to play the same songs night after night, you've got to do something interesting with them, even if just for yourself.
I'm sure they developed these things as they went along. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, that sounded good tonight. Let's make sure we do it that way from now on, you know, and then they go on next gig and they do it. And then all of a sudden it becomes part of the tune that they always do that way. And we think it was an innovative thing that they did, but they probably just fell on it and did it and kept doing it because they liked it that way. And now we like it that way.
Well, sure. I mean, when you play the same songs night after night, you're going to have happy little accidents and things, and somebody might go, "Hey, absolutely. That thing you did tonight was pretty cool. Let's
exactly
add
what
that."
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
yep, you got it. Exactly.
I mean, it happens to me when I'm writing in the studio. I might play something a little bit differently than I had intended it, and I'll look back and go, "I actually like that better," or maybe I'll make that a separate part. You know,
yep.
Love those.
Yep.
All right.
I'm sure that's what happened. Let's carry on.
Let's do it.
I'm sad that's over.
I know.
That was a great tune.
They faded that crowd out pretty quick, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was a very powerful version of the song. I mean, high energy, everything is there, vocals are there. It's not compromising anything to do it live.
No, there are a lot of harmonies all the way through that thing toward the end. They were really singing along with David.
And I'm just wondering, maybe on that first pass where we couldn't hear him, maybe the mics weren't up loud enough and the engineer turned them up later. Hard to say, but
they're definitely all the rest of the verses they were in there.
So it wouldn't make sense that they wouldn't sing it the first time.
You think that was well, they had to okay that, I would think, right? So maybe they wanted it that way.
That could be.
Maybe it added to the presence of the tune as the tune went along.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done it as a build.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, it could get redundant if you just do it every time. So yeah, I could see that. But they sounded so good singing together. I
think they do it that way now too. I think,
do they?
If I remember correctly.
I don't remember, honestly.
have to pick up a video when we get done with this. I'll go look at one and see.
You know, it's like when I saw them, both nights just went by so fast that I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember all those details that I wish I would remember.
Did any of those shows you were at get recorded live? And like, did they end up as a DVD back then or anything? Or
not that I know of.
Oh.
No,
I remember seeing pictures of them around this big craps table with their picture on it. I remember seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't think they filmed any. I didn't see any cameras or anything anywhere. The second time I saw them, they were opening for Priest, so they're not going to film that unless they were filming the whole show together. But
I'm just curious,
yeah, that would have been nice to have for my collection. That I would have been interested in for sure. Yeah, great shows though. I love this version. I have to say it's a very powerful version. It checks all the boxes for me.
It certainly does.
Damn, you're making me really like this album, Dave.
I know, isn't it great?
It is actually.
I'll send you another copy so you have like more than one copy in case you somehow ruin the first copy. You'll have a second copy
in case my digital copy wears out.
Your digital copy wears out, or you put it by a magnet or something.
I have been known to wear out a CD. I wore out Salisbury. I think my Salisbury CD I had to get again.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible, but it just stopped playing after so many years of me playing it all the time.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. Mostly
thing.
Everything I ever listen to anymore is on the computer. I have headphones, so I don't ever listen to anything live anymore through any kind of CD player or DVD player or anything like that. I watch videos and I listen to, music on my phone and music on the computer and so forth and so on. So that works for me. But I guess CDs probably could wear out over time.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a plastic housing and the CD itself, you're not touching the surface anywhere. It's just a piece of plastic that's over top of the CD and the laser reads through it. But yeah, it's somehow, I don't know if maybe it was the heat here or what, but it just stopped playing. And the same thing happened to Deep Purple's album Infinite. That was the other one I wore out in the car. Now I don't drive anywhere, so my music is safe.
It sounds like a fine layer of electrons being sheared away as you listen to these albums.
That was the most Zappa thing I've heard you do.
Thank you very much.
Well, I rate this song a thumbs up. I think it's a great version.
A+.
Yeah,
what's next on our agenda?
All right, so
we get together next time.
Our next song is going to be a little bit more of a marathon. This is July Morning, coming in at just under 12 minutes.
How long do you suspect that podcast will take to record?
7 hours.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
Yeah, we'll take coffee breaks and that when we need to. I would say that's going to be probably a good hour to an hour and a half, and I'll break that up into shorter bites for the listeners. They seem to like when I do that, like I did with Sunrise, and it's amazing. People listen to the show like while they're out jogging, while they're on their way to work, but some people don't spend an hour doing that. So it's nice to give them smaller bites so that they don't have to figure out where they were if their podcast player doesn't save their spot. Because they all work so differently. So
that's a good point.
Written in and said they really like that I do that. So I've just kept up with it.
That makes sense.
I just haven't had anything that long to do in a while.
Wow. Yeah. Well, this is a 12-minute song, you said, July Morning?
Yeah, just under 12, 11 minutes and 50 seconds, according to the file ID.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So we're in for it. So we're going to have to buckle up for that one. But man, thanks.
I'm going to cheat and listen to this one a few times before you and I get together.
I am not going to listen to it. I want to be.
I've been trying not to do this so I can be fresh and really objective and bring back my heapness to myself. But July Morning's too good.
Being that I have not heard this album in 30 years, I think it's fair to say that I'm pretty fresh as we hear it.
I'm going to cheat.
That's all right. Well, you're more familiar with it than I am anyway. So, I mean, this is a normal album for you to listen to, whereas for me, it isn't. So
I know, but I haven't heard it in like a month or a month and a half. So I have to go back and cheat.
We're going to get you into a program, Dave. Well, thank you, my friend, for joining me for another episode as we cruise through this season. We're already a third of the way done with the whole album, but you know what? We got some long songs coming up, so we got a ways to go yet.
My pleasure, as always.
Thank you, my friend. We'll see you next. I can't even speak anymore. Next episode. All right. I'll be here. Excellent. Take care, Dave.
All right. You too, Scott.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!